Good morning everyone. So in today's class I'm going to continue with the last topic where we have stopped, that is in the biased clamping we have stopped in the last class. So before we move on to the last class, I would like to just revise what we have discussed in the previous class. So in previous class we have started about the topic of clamping, what actually clamping is there, what is the operation of the clamping, and what is the circuit that you are going to use to clamp the particular signal. Then we have seen different types of clampings, that is your positive clamping as well as your negative clamping. Then afterwards we have seen your biased clamping, and the next one that you are continuing in today's class is the next part, clamping circuit, taking the source as well as your diode resistance into the account. Means these both things that you have to consider when you are doing the clamping. Correct? So before we move on, just revise once again what actually clamping is. What is meant by clamping? The circuit which is used to introduce a component, a DC component, by fixing its positive or negative peak of the signal, or negative or positive extremity of your waveform. So that particular kind of operation is called as clamping. So what was your clipping, ma? Clipping was the one in which what you have done, you are cutting off or you are removing the particular part of the signal. In case if there is some noise or some error has been generated, or it has been affected by noise your particular signal, so that particular part will be removed. Right? So removing or cutting, or one more name we have also given for this one as a voltage limiter or a current limiter, or what we can also say it as amplitude slicers or amplitude selectors. So clipping circuit is the one which is used to remove the undesired part of the waveform and transmit only the desired part of the waveform which is required for the particular application, and it should be with respect to your reference level. So there will be some reference level, above or below reference level we are doing the clipping. So reference level is very important. Here also in the clamping circuit, here also what we are doing, we are introducing a DC component which will be missed. So that DC component will be introduced in your with respect that it's a positive or negative extremity, or positive or negative waveform will be constant with respect to its reference signal. So we can give this as another name for your clamping circuit, can also be given as your DC reinserter or DC restorer, because we are reinserting or restoring your DC component. Okay, so clamping is nothing but you have to fix. Okay, in general if you say that what is meant by clamping means you have to fix that particular component. So here we are fixing the particular DC components, and we as well as we are keeping the extremity of your waveform either in the positive part or in the negative part with respect to the reference level. So this is what clamping is called. So after that we have seen the positive as well as the negative clamping. Okay, so and last topic that we have discussed was about your biased clamping. What was meant by biased clamping? I hope you all remember. Biased clamping is nothing but depending upon the direction of your diode, the clamping is done. If your diode is in the forward bias condition, you will be doing the positive clamping. That means positive clamping means you will be fixing the negative part of your signal. And if your diode is in the reverse reverse direction or in the reverse bias, you are going to do the negative clamping. So depending upon the direction of the diode, the clamping will be done either in the positive direction, a positive clamping, or the negative clamping. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this part. Next we'll move on to the next topic, that is taking the consideration of source in the diode as well as the diode resistance into the account, because what we have discussed in the last class, there was no resistor, we just had a capacitor, right, which is followed up by the diode. Means you are not having any kind of discharge path for your capacitor. As to have that particular discharge path, we are adding a resistance over there. Okay, now in this part what I am going to see is I am adding a source resistance also. Along with that I will be having a diode resistor also, which is used to have a discharge path for your capacitor. Fine, let's move on to that topic. So as to don't have any kind of confusion, I have taken a window where I have collected all the figures Okay, the very first figure that gives you the clamping circuit, in which you are taking the in consideration of your source resistance. This is the source resistance that we are considering, as well as your diode resistance. These two resistances we are considering or taking into account for your clamping circuit. Fine. So what are the two things that you have included here? One is source resistance as well as your forward resistance. Okay, so the resistance will lie in this range, and so it will be in terms of 100 ohms. Okay, the forward resistance which is present here, I'll show here. So this resistance will be in 100 ohms depending upon the type of diode that you are using here. Suppose if I am using a positive forward bias of diode, then I'll be using the 100 ohms of resistor over here. Okay, that is your forward resistance. So the source resistance may be negligible or may range up to some thousands of ohms depending upon the source that you are considering over here. Okay, whatever the source that you are considering, depending upon that one only we are going to select this source resistance. It may be negligible, or we can select this source resistance in terms of thousands ohms, whereas the resistance which we are using here at the diode, either forward resistance or the reverse resistance, that will be dependent upon the diode as well as the diode direction, and this resistance will be only in hundreds of ohms. But when comes to your source resistance, with this we are going to consider up to thousands of ohms. Either it may be also be negligible in case of any kind of application that you are going to use them. Fine. And we are also taking a reference line or a reference voltage or a breakpoint that is considered as Vy. Okay, I am considering it as Vy, and the initial condition that I am considering it as 0. So your Vy or the reference voltage, the very first reference voltage that I am considering here, it as 0 volts. Okay, now we'll see how your circuit starts working. So this is the circuit that we have considered. So it is a circuit what we are having in this particular one. We are considering that it is a clamping circuit in which both the source resistance as well as the diode resistance have been taken into account. That is nothing but your source resistance as well as the diode resistance. Now if you start the operation of this one, there are two conditions as to operate this one. So very first condition is that your total resistance should be greater than out of your forward resistance. Okay, that is the first condition, and the second condition is that the reverse resistance should be greater than that of your total resistance. If your total resistance is greater than of your forward resistance, then whatever the input what you have applied, that will be in the positive peak or the positive part, and the diode will be in the on condition. So if the diode is in the on condition, your circuit will be shown like this. Means this is how your circuit will be working in the forward direction. Correct. Now if I am applying the negative peak or the negative part of your waveform, and your diode in that part, the diode will be in the off condition. Okay, so there is no path for that one. So if it is in the off condition, then the equivalent circuit that is going to work in which direction your current is going to flow is, this is how, in the reverse direction. So this is the current is flowing in the forward direction over here, and the current is flowing in the reverse direction over here. Fine. So these are the two conditions. Very first condition is you have to consider that the resistance is greater than that of your forward resistance. Okay, so forward bias, your diode forward resistance, and your positive peak input voltage. If I consider a sine wave or a square wave, so the positive peak is applied to that one as an input, then the diode is in the on condition, and the equivalent circuit is this one for your input when it is a positive. And if you go for the negative part of the input which is applied at the input side, then it is in the reverse direction. So your current will be flowing in the reverse direction. Now see, if I am going to apply this particular part, what is the waveform I am considering here? I have given example of sine wave, but I am applying an input for the condition is your square wave. So if a square wave is the input which is applied to the your clamping circuit, so this is how your output will be obtained. Means this particular positive part, this much part has been clamped, and the positive part will be less clamped than that of your negative part. Okay, so I'll clearly explain it once again. Fine. So this is the waveform that we are applying the square input, and this is the output that we have got. So I'll explain the steady state waveform after. Before that, once we will see about the transient waveform that we are going to have. So what is meant by transient waveform? What actually meant by transient period or the transient waveform? So this means the duration of the process under which variables are changing with respect to your particular time. So whatever the input we are giving, that variables are changing with respect to that particular time, then that kind of period or the waveform that is coming in that particular period is called as your transient waveform. I'll repeat it once again. What actually transient period means, the duration of the process under which variables will be changing with respect to your particular time. So that is, if you analyze that one, short run duration along with the gradual changes over the time. Whatever the short changes will be done, that will be changing along with your time, along with your changes in overall time. So that is what we call as transient period. So when a signal is suddenly applied to your clamping circuit, if your clamping circuit there someone suddenly applying a particular signal, so what happens, you have to change instantaneously, your signal has to be changed along with the particular period of time. So the capacitor charges in the transient period, and gradually the steady state condition is also reached to a positive peak, and that will be clamped to 0. That means you are showing that this particular part, that will be whose clamping will be 0. So if a sudden input has been applied to your particular clamping circuit. Fine. So this is what we call as transient waveform. I'll repeat it once again. So whenever a sudden signal has been applied to your circuit, so we have to see that it should be reaching to your steady state condition. So after number of cycles they have passed, then we have to expect that this approach is moving to a steady state condition in which your positive peaks have been clamped to 0. It means that you will be getting negative peaks and your positive peaks have been completely fixed. Clamping is nothing but fixing. So in this steady state condition, it has to reach that your positive peaks should be clamped or fixed to 0 level. So this is what we call as transient waveform. Okay. Now see the relationship between the tilts in the forward as well as the reverse direction. What is meant by tilt? This is what the peak here we are got at the output side. This is called as your tilt. So we have to see the relationship between the tilt at the positive part of the waveform along with that tilt at the negative part of the waveform. Okay. So here we are considering the steady state response of the particular output. And the input that you have applied here is your square wave input. Okay. So whenever I am explaining, if you are having any doubt, you go through with the theory what I have kept over here. So first I am considering the square wave input which has been applied to your clamping circuit. This is a clamping circuit. I am applying the square wave to the clamping circuit. So the general form of the output will be indicated in this part, where you will be having these 4 terminologies. Okay, there are 4 voltages: V1, V2 dash, sorry, first V1, then V2, V1 dash, as well as the V2 dash. I hope you are clear here. I'll just make a bigger one. See this? So we are having V1 as the output. We have determined 4 different kind of voltages when you have got the output. What is the input we have applied, ma? That is your square wave input, and after the clamping we have to see the relationship between the tilts in the positive, in the forward direction as well as in the reverse direction. So we have got 4 different voltages over there, V1 and V2, and this V1 dash as well as the V2 dash, and we have to calculate these particular voltage values. Fine. So how we have to calculate these particular voltage values? So first what we are considering, since the diode we are considering is in the reverse bias at this particular time, very firstly I am considering the diode is in the reverse bias. Now we have to calculate the voltages. These 4 voltages we have to calculate one by one. Okay. So whenever I am applying this, there is a condition we have to apply that when time t is equals to 0. This we have already said, we have given the time t is equals to 0. Okay. And your Vs of t. So your Vs of t is nothing but your source voltage, that should be equals to V, capital V, that is your total voltage. So what is the first condition in the interval what you are considering? 0 less than T less than of capital T. So this is the condition what you are applying here. Okay, 0 less than T less than your capital T in this particular time interval at the higher level where your diode is in the on condition. Here the capacitor will be charging with a time constant of Rs plus Rf into C. See here. So here very first I am taking the consideration that the diode is in the on condition, right? And the time period is between 0 to capital T. Here this is 0 to capital T. And what is one more condition, that your diode is also on. So at that particular time this capacitor will be having the time constant as Rs plus what is the diode is on means this will in the forward direction. Yes. So here the resistance will be your Rf. So that is your Rs plus Rf into C. So this is the time constant of your capacitor. So the capacitor charges with the time constant of Rs plus Rf into C. Because why, how we have got here Rf? Because your diode is in the forward direction and the output decays towards the 0 with the same time constant, giving the output of V1 dash. Whatever the output we have got here, this V1 dash, because we have moved up to here, we are going to 0 volts now. So your output will be is equals to V1 dash is equals to V1 into e to the power of minus T. That is your time constant you have to give. How much is the time what you have considered here? What is the time here in the triggering edge? That is your T1. And what is the time constant that you have got? Rf plus Rs into C. So that is what V1 dash output is equals to V1 into e to the power of minus T1 divided by Rf plus Rs into C. This is the condition when your diode is on and the time constant is Rf plus Rs. Because your diode is on condition, so it means it is in the forward direction. Now if the time interval is in between T1 and T1 plus T2. First time interval what we have considered from 0 to T1, and second time interval what we are considering here T1 to T1 plus T2. Okay, so in this time interval your input is in the lower part. Yes, consider here this is your lower part. So here we are having the lower part. So in this particular part the diode is in the off condition. So whenever you are having the off condition, what is the thing what you will be giving? Your diode is in the reverse bias and the capacitor will be discharging now. Correct? See here, this is in the reverse bias. Now we got a path over here. So this will be discharging. There is no forward resistance. Okay. So what happens here now? It will be R plus Rs into C. Because it is in the discharging path. Your capacitor is not charging over here. And the output raises towards to 0. Now it was going down to 0 in the first condition. Now it is going towards to 0 in the upper part here. In this particular part. I'll change the color. Okay, see this here what you have, this is in your which is going downwards to the path. Now here what you are doing, the output is raising towards to 0. See here the output is raising towards to 0. Yes. So here at this output second part where your time interval is in between T1 plus to T1 plus T2, in this particular time interval your output will be in the raising part to the 0, or it is raising towards the 0 with the time constant. What is the output that you are going to calculate over here? V2 dash. Here we are going to calculate the V2 dash, and that V2 dash is equals to this part V2 into e to the power of minus. What is the time interval what you have taken? T2 in the second part, and what is the time constant where your capacitor is discharging? That is nothing but R plus, this is your total R plus Rs into C. Correct? So this is because the diode is in the off condition, so there is no forward resistance over here, and this is the path where your capacitor is discharging. So overall we can say that V2 dash is equals to the trailing edge. Here V2 dash is equals to V2 into e to the power of minus T2 into R plus Rs into C. This is the output of your second wave at the trailing edge. Fine. Now we have got these two waveforms. What actually we have told in the very first, that we have to determine 4 voltages. What are the 4 voltages? V1, V2, V1 dash as well as the V2 dash. These are the 4 voltages that you have to calculate. Here in these two conditions, what you have obtained here, we have got V1 dash as well as the V2 dash. Now we have to get the voltages V1 as well as the V2. For that particular one, we are considering the condition at the time t is equals to 0. Your time t is equals to 0. Very first condition, t is equals to 0, and your source voltage will be is equals to V2 double dash. Here this is the source voltage that I am considering. This is the first condition. If your Vs is equals to double dash, then what is the condition? The diode will be in the off condition. Okay. So this is how we will be seeing. So for that one, this is the output wave, the output circuit, equivalent circuit diagram. This is the equivalent circuit diagram for that one, where Vs is equals to V double dash and your V naught output voltage is equals to V2. We are getting the V2 as the output voltage because I am going to find out the V2 voltage, and the diode is in off condition. That means it will be acting as in the current will be flowing in the reverse direction and your diode will be off. Okay, now the voltage across your capacitor can be given. This is the voltage across the capacitor, right? This Vc can be given as V double dash minus V2 dash divided by R into R plus Rs. Why I am considering this one? Because the total voltage over resistance is your R. It is non-conducting, right? And your source voltage is Rs. And what is the V2 dash? V2 dash is nothing but the input voltage that you have got. This is the source voltage. The source voltage Vs, what you have considered here? V double dash. So here capacitance voltage across the capacitance Vc is equals to V double dash minus V2 dash. Why we are considering the V2 dash? See at the waveform, this is the V2 dash because your output is moving towards the 0. So that's the reason we are going for that one. So Vc is equals to V double dash minus V2 dash divided by R into R plus Rs. This is the current that we have got. Reverse, your current is in reverse bias. This is the current. I is equals to V by R. What is V? V2 dash divided by R is, that is what you have got. R plus Rs divided by R. Okay. These two are in the parallel conditions. Now I am considering the second condition at t is equals to plus 0 at the positive part of the signal. If the signal is jumping to V volts. See here the positive part. Now your signal is jumping to V volts, then the output voltage will be is equals to Vt. And the diode will be conducting in this particular part. Now you are what happens? What is the condition we are now taking? T is equals to plus 0 means your time period has been moved on and your output voltage has been jumped to V, capital V. So that is can be given, and the equivalent circuit for that particular one is this. Here it is in the forward bias condition. Correct? So the voltage across this capacitor, now this capacitor can be given as, you can tell me now, what is the voltage across this capacitor will be given as V dash. This is the source voltage that we are getting in the positive part of the rail, minus V1 divided by RF, V1 divided by R into R plus Rs. Similar to that one. Yes, here we got as V1 minus V1 divided by RF plus RF plus Rs. What is RF plus Rs? Because this your whole capacitor now is in the diode is in the forward bias, your current is in the forward conducting. So that's the reason I is equals to V by R. V is nothing but the positive edge. We got the output as V1. So your forward resistance will be considered. So your output will be V1 divided by RF into RF plus Rs. Forward resistance plus your source resistance. Right? So total the voltage across the capacitor, this particular capacitor can be given as V1 minus, V1 is nothing but your source voltage that is coming. Okay. So V1 minus V1 divided by RF into RF plus Rs. Please do make note of all these equations whatever I am telling, so that you can equate and it will be very easy for you people. Now see what you have to do. You have to equate these two conditions. What are these two conditions? Equation 3, this part, and equation 4. This Vc voltage across the capacitor when it is in the forward bias, and voltage across the capacitor when your diode is in off, that is reverse bias. So these two conditions you have to equate it now. So what is, after equating, what is the formula that you will be getting? So if I equate this both, I'll just take it out to V1 dash and I'll take this complete part next at the positive right hand side of your equation. So what I'll get, V1 is equals to V1 divided by RF plus RS divided by RF. This is very simple. Just you have to equate. I am equating these both conditions. VC will be cancelled. So your V1 is equals to V1 into RF plus RS divided by RF. And what is V2 double dash? V double dash. V double dash is equals to V2 into R plus RS divided by R. Yes or no? Only this part you are considering. So what is the overall voltage that you have got? V1 minus V dash minus V double dash, that is equals to V, the total voltage, that will be is equals to V1 into RF plus RS divided by RF minus V2 dash into R plus RS divided by R. We are just simplifying. You have to equate, you have to cancel, and you have to take out the V1 and V2 values from this particular equations. Equation 3 as well as your equation 4. When you both separate that particular V1 and V2 equations, after subtracting, you will be getting the total voltage, right? So that is the first condition. Now I am considering the condition. What is the condition that I have considered? Considering the condition at t is equals to 0. What is the output that I have got? V dash and V double dash values I have got. Now I have to calculate this for the V1 and V2 also. Now the condition that I am going to consider here is t is equals to tr. Okay. Now if you see that particular condition, what is the condition? Just you compare with this two one. Okay. First we have considered t is equals to 0. What is the output? Source voltage is V double dash and output voltage was your V2. Now what I am considering, your source voltage will be V. Here I am considering the source voltage as V and your output voltage as V1. Here at this particular part, your output voltage is V1. And the time period what you are considering it as TR. Okay. In the very first condition, I am considering that your diode is in the on condition. So what will be your circuit diagram? If it is on condition, this one. It will be, your current will be moving in the forward bias condition, and you will be getting RS as well as the RF into the consideration. That means your source resistance as well as your reverse forward bias resistance will also be come into consideration. So what is the very first voltage across that particular capacitor will be V1 dash. Okay, what is the condition? Vs is equals to V0. Then I will be getting Vc voltage across this particular capacitor here. That will be V1 V dash minus V1 dash into what is the consideration? What are the things that you have came here? RF as well as the RS. So V1 dash divided by RF into RF plus RS. These two we have to consider because the diode is in the on condition. So that's the reason you will be getting your forward resistance as well as your reverse resistance also. Now in the second condition, your diode is in off condition. When diode is in the off condition, this will be operated as in the reverse bias and your diode will be off. And what is the resistance that you will be obtaining at the diode? That is your R, and of course you will be getting the source resistance. So the voltage across this particular capacitor will be given as V double dash minus total current. What is the total current that you will be getting? V2. Okay, this is the total current that you will be getting, V divided by R. So V2 divided by R into R plus RS. This is V2 into R plus RS divided by R also you have to consider. You can take. So since the voltage across the capacitor cannot change instantaneously, so what you have to do, we have to equate these two conditions. Again we have got this VC as well as this VC, right? So these two conditions you have to equate. So after equating, again what you will be getting? V dash, you can see now easily. What is V dash is equals to V1 dash into RF plus RS divided by RF. And what is V double dash is equals to V2 into R plus RS divided by R. Yes. So we have to check the voltages across. See this condition. So from all these conditions, V dash minus V double dash is equals to V1 dash of Rf plus Rs divided by Rf minus V2 into R plus Rs divided by R. So by equating all these conditions, if you go on with all these equations, we are able to find the 4 voltages V1, V2, V1 dash as well as the V2 dash, and the output voltages are completely determined. So all these voltages, the positive peak voltages, the tilts that we have got the relationship between V1 and V2 dash and V2 dash and V2, and as well as we are able to calculate the particular voltages of these 4 different voltages. Okay, we have got V1 that from the equation 1, V2 from the second equation, and V2 dash from the fourth equation, and V2 double dash from the 8th equation. So by considering all these equations and the waveforms, we are able to find out the voltages, determine 4 different voltages, that are V1, V1 dash, V2 and V2 dash. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this part. Now see, here we have calculated all different kind of voltages by using your clamping circuit. Now if there is a condition, there is a particular node, please to make a note. So in this present condition, if some source impedance has been taken into account, so if some source impedance has been came into this consideration, then how your voltage will be responding for this particular part, or how your complete circuit will be responding if some source impedance has been came into the consideration of this particular circuit. So when this source impedance will be coming, the output voltage will jump and it will be changing very abruptly, means you will be getting some discontinuity in your particular waveforms. Okay, that means, see what you have seen, we have seen that there is a proper jump in the particular voltage. In case your source impedance has been came into consideration, there won't be this longer jumps in your particular voltages. Okay, you will be getting some shorter jumps that will be affecting in the continuity of your output voltage waveform. See, if your voltage is not jumped properly to V2 dash to V1, then what happens if in case consider it is jumped up to here itself? So will be your output waveform will be continuous? Of course no. See, I'll give an example over here. So this is V1 value and this is your V2 dash value. In case of source impedance is coming into the consideration, my signal won't go up to this part. Again it will be coming back here. So here it won't be having the proper continuity in this one. You will be getting some discontinuities. This part is called as discontinuity. So this discontinuity will be will be coming when your source impedance is in consideration of this particular condition. So what happened? So as to get that one, only Rs is equals to 0 should be the condition. So see here what I have told, that if in case the source impedance is coming into the consideration, your output voltage jumps are smaller as I have shown over here, and there will be some discontinuity in the output voltage. So only if Rs is equals to 0 are the jumps and the input or the output voltage can be considered, then your source resistance should be 0. And for this one also, it is also possible that, for example, if you consider V2 double dash, what you have seen here, this V double dash to be negative, or even in the both sides should be negative. In case your impedance is obtaining, means your this voltage V will also be in negative part and V double dash will also be in the negative part. So in the steady state conditions, there is a tilt in the output waveform in both positive as well as in the negative directions. So see here also we are having a tilt in the positive waveform as well as in the negative waveform, because in steady state conditions, in case of source impedance is considering or it will be coming in the consideration, so there will be tilt both in the positive edge as well as in the negative edge. So for that one, the relationship between these tilts can be considered by taking the condition equations 8 and equation 5. where we have found the values of your V2 and V2 dash. What is the value of V2? RF plus RS divided by RF into V1 minus V dash, that is the V2 value, and V2 dash value was R plus RS divided by R into V2 dash minus V2, that is equals to 0. So for this one we can say that since the RS value is usually smaller than your total resistance, then the tilt will be in the forward direction and it will be almost less than that of your what we can say forward reverse biased area tilt and the reverse direction. So only RS should be less than that of your RF, and both the tilts will be almost equal. So if this is the condition is applied, or you get this condition RS less than or equals to RF, then your both the tilts will be equal. If no, then you will be having the difference between the different in areas. This Y is nothing but the area of your positive tilt, and AR is the area of your negative tilt. So you will get the difference between these two tilts, and if the condition is that the RS is less than or equals to RF, then at that particular part your both the tilts will be almost equal. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this part.